Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Lexi and this is the review recap for Insecure season 4. I think it was episode 8 or 7. Y'all know, y'all watched it. So let's just jump right into the video. This was a Molly themed episode. Just like last week we had the Issa themed episode. So here we're following Molly and Andrew through their trip to Mexico, and we see in the beginning of the episode that Molly did see Issa come into or walk up on the restaurant, and Molly kind of like just made no effort to speak to Issa and just purposefully looked at her phone in order to, you know, not be the first person to make contact. And then she saw Issa leave, which I mentioned last week, and I'm gonna say it again. I don't think Issa was wrong for not going in there. I do think that the way that Molly acted on the block party episode, it's up to her to kind of reconcile whatever's happening between them or make the first contact. Because if it was me, I wouldn't be calling Molly. So contrary to popular belief, I don't think that Molly was wrong this episode. I do feel like we're gonna get into that whole thing that happened later on in the episode. So Molly and Andrew are planning to go to the trip to Mexico. They seem to be getting closer and closer and kind of building a rapport and just growing in their relationship. So I don't really have any comments on that. They had a lot of sex scenes this episode. That's just how Insecure gets down. Shout out to Kim Fields. Okay, she had a little cameo in this episode. She was my favorite character on Living Single. My favorite character. I love her. Insecure always brings us people that we didn't know we missed, and she's one of the people that I didn't know that I need to see on TV. I was like, hey, it's Kim Fields. Shout out to her. Nathan FaceTimed Andrew asking for help to get into the house, I guess, and Issa was in the background. And of course, Molly let that kind of ruin her whole mood and turn sour, and then Andrew turned it around. And I do feel like it's normal to be like, oh, you don't want to hear someone's voice or whatever, but they always make the Molly character kind of go overboard. It's like, sis, it's okay. And then she kind of took shots at Nathan to his best friend about him ghosting, and when we already knew, because last season, I believe it was the end of last season, Nathan told Issa that he ghosted because he was depressed and he was having some mental health issues, and he was open about that to her after he took off a month of time. I guess Issa never relayed that to Molly, but that's what Nathan told Issa. So, and Andrew kind of let her know, and he's good at letting her know in a respectful way, like, you doing the most. Like, Nathan ain't that bad. He had some mental health problems going on at the time, whatever the case is, just so you know. And it kind of made her shut up, which is what she needs to do all the times that she gets herself in these like foot in the mouth awkward scenarios. So whatever, he kind of checked her in a polite, respectful way like he does, and that was that. I feel like the Molly and Andrew dynamic is getting better each episode, so shout out to them, I guess. And we're just really gonna jump into, I guess, like the main part of the episode, a kind of like a defining factor when it comes to the interracial dating that Molly and Andrew are partaking in. I don't know why I worded it that way, but you get my point. It kind of was a moment where they were able to kind of express some things that they haven't expressed before when it comes to dating interracially, and her being black, him being Asian, and what that means to either of them, as well as obviously they had drama with his brother and all kinds of stuff like that. But I do think those conversations are important, maybe not as dramatic and not as what it was, but it is an important conversation if you are dating someone out of your race and they may or may not understand what you go through as a black person, black woman particularly. But let's just get right into it. Molly wasn't wrong. Molly was not wrong. I'm not gonna say she was. I don't think that she was. I think that Molly had every right to be upset. And I think that when you live a life and you've lived 30 years and you've experienced certain things, you know when people are being racist towards you, you know when they're doing the most because of how you look. And that's what happened to her. The towel lady was deliberately asking her for a key card, and it's like, sis, this is a resort. It's probably all inclusive. did I walk over here from another resort to get in the pool? I mean, I don't know if people do that, but I'd never been in a resort and seen people sneaking into the resort. I don't even know if that's a thing. Child, nobody wants to take your towel. And if you're paying, I'm sure that Andrew paid, but if I'm a part of a paying party and you're giving me a hard time about a towel, I'm gonna have an issue with that too. And that's not even like, forget it. Like, I'm gonna have an issue with that too. So then his brother comes along, of course, and gets the key card and like whatever, gets her a towel, and she snatched it, which I would have done the same thing. And I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, I would have done the same thing. I probably would have filed a complaint. I would have acted a fool because it gets really tiring. It gets tiring. It's a towel. It's a towel. It's a towel. So whatever. Then they go to the pool, and Molly is unapologetic as a person, which there are issues with that in her personality. So of course, like, she has no desire to be apologetic or explain because it is what it is. And she, in her heart, knew what happened, and she didn't really have anything to talk about in terms of like his brother's involvement or anything like that. She knew what it was, and it's what it was. But whoever brought it up, they began the discussion, and Andrew's brother made it very clear that he felt like she was overreacting, and that he felt like the things that he experienced as an Asian man is equal, or he can relate to her issues that she faces as a Black woman. And he made it very clear that she was overreacting, and that she can't even be too sure that it was a racism thing. And he made it very clear that it could have just been policy and whatever, what have you. Now, we didn't really see the white couple get their towels, but Molly said that she saw that they didn't ask them for their key cards. And I'm sorry, like, it's not hard to believe. And I don't think that it's anybody's place, specifically your boyfriend's brother, to tell you what you did or did not experience. So I have an issue with that as well. And Andrew did do what he could do in that moment to check him and try to like calm the situation down. But obviously Molly felt like nobody was on her side, even though I do think that in that moment he was on her side, until she said that y'all only POC, people of color, when it benefits you. So that is an offensive thing to say, and that's what it is. So he obviously was offended by that. He kind of like told her like, what? I don't feel that way. Don't put me in that box type of shit. And she just walked off. She got angry. She walked off. And I don't blame her, because I'm not the kind of person to sit and explain racism or discrimination. I don't do that. I'm not going to sit here and give you racism 101. That's not my job. If you don't believe what happened, that's on you. I don't care. So I'm not going to give you the ABCs, 1, 2, 3s of Black woman life. I'm not gonna do it. I'm okay. But there are people out here in the world that do that. Call them, they can do it for you. I'm not doing it for you. So I did feel her in that moment. I do feel like it got really, really heated, and it wasn't necessarily the best space for that. But again, I don't tell Black people to use their time to educate non-Black people on what we face. If you want to, that's your choice, but you don't have to do that, because there's so much information out here. And he saw what happened. The tail end, yes, but if I tell you what I experienced and you walked in on the tail end, you have no reason to believe that I was out of line. And don't call me out on being out of line, because you don't know what it's like to be a Black woman. So I definitely felt sis on that, and I was very happy. Like, I smiled, got emotional in my heart when she called her therapist, because like I think that she felt like, yes, I wasn't wrong, but it got heated, and maybe it shouldn't have gotten that heated. So she did make that phone call to her therapist, and I was like, yes, we all need it. Okay, the viewers need it, you need it, and in real life we need it too. Okay, so I was happy as hell that she made that phone call. She is showing growth, and I feel like it's unfortunate that with her and Issa, they just can't seem to get together and have a genuine, real conversation. It needs to happen, and maybe it'll happen sooner or later, but they just like have a block between them, but in other areas they're able to show growth and trying to make their lives better and trying to grow up, you know? When I saw the preview last week, I was like, do I really want to watch Molly and Andrew for half an hour, like just doing Molly and Andrew things? But it actually was entertaining. It actually was a really good episode. I know that Jay Ellis, he directed it, so it was really good. It was beautifully shot, music on point. The one thing Molly could do, boy, is she could dress, okay? Every single fit. I was getting vacation vibe. I'm like, damn, we in quarantine. Like, she was looking good. The whole vibe was looking good. I was like, damn, they are telling us what we cannot have at the moment. And what I will say is that I was also happy that Andrew, he is a very understanding person. It seems like they're kind of showing us more and more that he is understanding, because the time that he was snoring at her work story a few episodes ago, I was like, but he seems to be showing that he is more understanding and is trying to kind of meet her halfway, because she ain't perfect and he ain't perfect type of thing. So I was happy that he approached her, they had a conversation about it, and she did like kind of seem to be a little bit remorseful about how things ultimately went down. Yeah, I wasn't wrong, but things went down kind of like really crazy with your own family, with your blood, with your brother and shit. Like, my first time meeting them, whatever, what have you. So, you know, she wanted to see like what is, you know, what's going on. Is everything okay? And he seemed to have handled it. So we'll see how that goes. I'm happy with their communication, and like it's showing that even though they're both very, very imperfect people, they're trying to find a middle ground for each other type of thing, you know? Whatever. So then we get to the airport and we see Lawrence looking good. Okay, he got a haircut. It's a new man. Okay, because y'all know when men get haircuts, it's a whole new man. Like, he like a new man. So he walked up on her. Molly and Lawrence's combos are always awkward and always uncomfortable. No matter what time of the series we're in, they always have the most awkward conversation. So they had an awkward encounter. If it's me, hey, how you doing? Give me a hug. All right, I'm gone. I'm gone. Listen, you ain't my ex, so I don't have to. And if you was my ex, I probably would keep walking. So I don't even know. That was like a long, like awkward pause. You know how they always get down this show. And that was pretty much it. We see that he calls someone saying like, oh, I want to meet up for drinks. And then we see in the preview for next week, I don't know if you watched it already, but him and Issa meet up for drinks. And I told y'all a few episodes ago that I felt like he was trying to slide back in there. Child, I don't know. I'm still team Nathan. I like Nathan as an individual. So that's my vote. But we'll see what happens. You know, we'll see how they take it. It's not much of the show left. I have like, what, an hour and a half left of the show to watch before the season is over. So we'll see how they wrap it up. Let me know down below how you felt about tonight's episode. Did you like it? Not like it? How'd you feel about Molly and Andrew's dynamic? How do you feel about the towel situation? Just let's kiki in the comments. We always have a good dialogue on these videos. If you are new here, you watch this entire video, you might as well join the KandidKinks family. I post every single Sunday and Wednesday natural hair and beauty content. That's pretty much it. The video is done. Before you go, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys on Wednesday in my next upload.